Welcome to this video, Sun Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield, and today we're going to be actually redoing a video that has been recorded very recently, but due to some unfortunate circumstances, I might have accidentally taken it down because I'm a bit of a bark. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is actually reinstalling Windows XP Home Edition on the Dell Dimension 4600. Now, if you're tuning in for the first time, I had Windows POS Ready 2009, Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009 rather, installed on my Dell Dimension 4600, and it's alright and everything, but sometimes it's just nice to go back to regular XP. And there is now an unofficial service pack 4, if you will, that will actually include all the different updates, as well as a registry hack which actually makes Windows XP register to Windows Update as Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009, which basically means that it will get all the updates that Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009 will. And the reason that will work is because Windows XP, well, Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009 is actually based upon the Windows XP kernel. So, without further ado, let's power on the beast and get started. Now, what I want to do is boot from the XP CD, which is this one here. It's a Dell OEM disc, so I won't need to worry about activation. Now, you can't see this, but there's 2 drives in my Dell Dimension 4600. Now, I've actually got to... This will only support booting from the master drive. See, back in the IDE days, you actually could put 2 devices on an IDE channel. Or in layman's terms, you could plug 2 devices on the one cable into the one IDE controller port. And essentially, one would be the master device and one would be the slave device. You'd have to set this in the jumpers on the device, or later devices, you know, it would actually auto set up based on, you know, whereabouts on the cable it was. Now, on these machines, Dell's really can only boot from the master CD-ROM drive, so you'll have to really know which one it is. And on my system, the master drive is the one in the top. If you've only got the one DVD, if you've only got the one optical drive, then, you know, just put the disc in and elect to boot from IDE CD-ROM. So, just as a quick wee refresher, this computer is a Dell Dimension 4600. Road Geek bought it, gave me the money to buy it for my birthday back in 2014, which was very generous of him. Thank you very much, by the way. And it originally had a 2.66 GHz Intel Pentium 4, but in my last video about the computer, I actually replaced it with a 2.8 GHz Pentium 4 with hyperthreading. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering why, actually, yeah, I'll show you. My free cycle haul video, some of you will remember I got a silver VCR, which is actually in use on this machine. You know, despite it being a bush, I'm very pleased with the results. It has an iCam stereo, and the sound is actually a lot better than my Soundwave one. And unfortunately, no, my Soundwave VCR does not transform into a robot. Sorry about that. But there was lots of sound degradation on long play tapes on the Soundwave VCR. On the Boost VCR, however, that's just not there. And, you know, it'll be nice to be able to, you know, digitize my tapes using a NICAM VCR. Because my TV tuner in here also supports NICAM. I installed a TV tuner, by the way. It's my old Pinnacle TV tuner from the 2006 custom build. We're going to be installing that a bit later on in the video. Okay, so now Windows setup has started. Now what we want to do is set Windows up, so we'll press enter to do that. We'll agree with the licensing agreement. Now, because there's already a version of Windows on here, for the record it's actually the version of Windows XP I installed in the video that was taken down. Like I said, I mean, that was purely by accident. Right, there's already a version of Windows on here. What we want to do is actually format the hard drive and reinstall. So I'm going to press escape, and that's going to take me to the disk partitioning screen. And what I'm going to do is just delete this partition, press enter. To delete this partition, press L. And then I'm going to set Windows XP up on, well, what is now on partition space. And it will basically just take all the space it can and make a partition. I'm going to format the partition in using the NTFS file system quick. So basically what this is doing now, it's just formatting the partition. It shouldn't take too long now. Obviously in Windows 2000, the format this partition quick option does not exist. So you actually do have to either full format the partition or use a recovery console to actually format the partition. I did show how to do that on my installing Windows 2000 on the Dell Latitude CPXJ video. Okay, so the what we're in now is known as the text-based portion of setup. As you can see, there are really no graphics on the screen apart from like these lines. And that one there, which could quite easily be a pipe. And those two there. But as there's nothing to do now in this portion of setup except wait for it to finish, I will actually do that and then come back to you. Okay, so that's the text-based portion of setup finishing. So now what we're going to do is let the machine restart, and it will actually now boot into Windows XP for the first time from the hard drive. But, as those of you who know how the Windows XP install routine goes, you'll know that actually we're only probably a very short way through the setup process. Do you remember when the XP Home Edition screen used to look like this with the green progress bar going round? Jings. Obviously, post Service Pack 2, you didn't actually get the version of Windows that you're using. You didn't actually get that information displayed on the splash screen. It just said Windows XP, and it was a blue progress bar that would go round, just like, you know, Windows XP Professional, except now it was blue on all versions of Windows. Right, okay, now again, this is going to take a while. Windows XP setup is just going to sort some things out in the background, and then it's going to start the hardware detection phase. Now, I know I'm going to sound a bit like setup here, but I do want to tell you that this part can take a while, and the screen will blink. You know, so, you know, it's not your monitor playing tricks on you or going wrong or anything like that. This is just kind of literally what it's doing in order to try and, you know, probe the graphics card and the monitor. That is kind of symptomatic of what setup is doing. So once again, I think what I'm going to do is leave this to do what it's got to do, and I will come back to you once we're actually at a part of setup that will actually let us interact with it, which will actually be after the installing devices portion. Okay, here we are. So, it says regional and language options will allow you to change the way numbers, dates, currencies and time are displayed. You can also add support for additional languages and change your location setting. The standards and format setting is set to English United States and the location is set to United States. To change these settings, click Customize. Okay, so I want to set them to the United Kingdom. There we go. And if you're watching in the future in an independent Scotland, this will still hold true because Windows XP is out of support now, and I don't think Microsoft will be providing a fix that would make Windows XP recognise Scotland as its own sovereign nation, which is a shame. In fact, I want to see that patch released for Windows 98. For obvious reasons. So that when I'm installing it on my Compaq Armada E500, I can actually tell the E500 that Scotland's its own country. And I know Billy and Luke will probably be getting a laugh out of that now. Oh, and here's my cup of tea. And look what mug it's in. That is fine. Anyway, I'm going to click next. I'm going to type my name, the name of the company, which folded up 2 years ago. Now it wants to. Now it wants me to type in the computer's name. So I'm going to call it literally Dimension-4600. Good. Now I want to check the date and time. It is actually Wednesday, May the 27th, 2015 at 10:53 PM. Actually, according to my watch, it's earlier than that, but never mind. And I'm going to set my time zone to Greenwich Mean Time, Dublin, Edinburgh, Lisbon and London. And automatically adjust clock for daylight saving changes. I'm going to click next. Now it's a way to install the network. Now, because there is a FireWire card, this will, see, there we go, Windows XP has actually detected that as a network interface. However, if you have a network interface that is supported out of the box by Windows XP, then during setup you will see this screen. And if you have a modem that is supported out of the box by Windows XP, you would actually see the modem installation screen afterwards. Okay, now we're just going to go for typical setup. Oh, okay. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done that, because for some reason I'm using the default workgroup name on all my machines, which is workgroup. But on XP Home, the default workgroup's name is actually set to MS Home. So, whoops-a-daisy. Anyway, now I would suggest that this is a part of setup where you probably should go make yourself a cup of tea, because this will take a while. Not as long on this machine as it would on a slower one, he stated, as the most obvious fact of this whole video. Whoops. Be right back once XP starts for the first time. Well, that's Windows XP setup finished. And now we're away to start Windows for the first time. Now, last time I did it, for some reason I came into some sort of problem. The machine just would not boot for whatever reason. Hopefully this time it'll work, and I'm hoping this time I actually get to the out-of-the-box experience. Okay then, looks like I might actually get it this time. To improve the appearance of visual elements, Windows will automatically adjust your screen resolution. Right, so it's done that, but on this machine it's only done it to 800 by 600 because the video card drivers aren't actually supported under XP. Well, they don't come with Windows XP, is what I mean to say, rather. Okay, welcome to Microsoft Windows. Thank you for purchasing Microsoft Windows XP. Let's spend a few minutes setting up your computer. Okay, now, normally you might hear sound and music in this, in the out-of-the-box experience portion of setup. But I don't actually have any sound drivers installed just yet on this machine. If Windows XP had support for sound drivers for this machine out of the box, it would have used them. Right, I'm the only person that's going to be using the computer, so I'm just going to type my name. Say who will use this computer. Type the name of each person who will use this computer. Windows will create a separate user account for each person, so you can personalize the way you want Windows to organize and display information, protect your files and computer settings, and customize the desktop. These names will appear on the welcome screen in alphabetical order. When you start Windows, simply click your name on the welcome screen to log in. If you want to set passwords and limit permissions for each user, or add more user accounts after you finish setting up Windows, just click Control Panel on the Start menu and then click User Accounts. So, very simple. Now it's just saying thank you. So now I have a user account. However, I would like to set a password for that user account. And something that you might have noticed was missing during setup. It didn't ask me for an administrator password. Now, Windows XP Home has a nasty habit of not doing that. So basically what you have, what we had in the 2000s was a bunch of XP Home machines that had a user password for the user that set the machine up, but did not have an administrator account password because one wasn't asked for. So as a result, anyone who knew how to get into Windows XP could quite easily do so, and then once in, on the administrator account, they could do all manner of things to the computer. Not very secure. However, you can stop this. You can add an admin password. We're going to do it by going to Start and then going to Run. And then what I want to type is Control, C-O-N-T-R-O-L, space, user passwords 2. And now what we get is the Windows 2000 version of the user accounts setup screen. The Windows XP version, you know, it looks a bit more flowery. We will see that actually because I want to change my own account picture. Because, yeah. So what we want to do now is we want to click on the administrator account and then we're going to click Reset Password. Now I'm going to type the password into that top box and then verify the password or confirm the new password by typing it again into that bottom box. So if you'll bear with me a moment. Okay, I've done that now. And you know, while I'm in this dialog box, I could actually set up new users, make advanced, you know, kind of select what kind of a group that they're going to be in. and I actually get more options in here than I would in the Windows XP user accounts control panel. Right, okay, that is that completely sorted out. The administrator account has a password. Now I'm going to go into the Windows XP user accounts screen to actually set myself up a password. So I'm going to click Start, and this time I'm going to go to Control Panel. Please give me in Classic View. User Account, I'm going to select my name, and then just click Create a Password. Same thing, except this time I can actually create a hint. But like I said, I mean, there's certain options that you just don't get. So, once again, I'll be right back as soon as I've typed my password. Now I have the option to make my files private. I don't think I'll bother because, yeah. And now I actually want to change my profile picture. I'm going to use the palm trees. There we go. Now, for those of you who think that Microsoft account integration was a new thing with Windows 8, you are sadly mistaken. The fact that it was called a Microsoft account was a Windows 8 era thing, but before it was called a Microsoft account, it was called an Outlook account. Before it was called an Outlook account, it was called a Live account. Before it was called a Live account, it was called a Windows Live account. And before it was called a Windows Live account, it was called a .NET account. And that is what you would use. Well, before it was called a .NET account, it was basically an MSN account, which would you know, give you access to things like MSN Messenger and Hotmail and all that good stuff. And you could actually, if you wanted, you could actually integrate that account with your Windows XP account. When you would log in, if you clicked your name on the if you clicked on your name on the login screen, it might tell you how many unread emails you had. So there it was in Windows XP. Not sure that that option really worked all that well now. But yeah, there it is. Anyway, enough of that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of set this to my liking. And then we're actually going to go ahead and install the unofficial service pack 4. It's on my flash drive, so if you bear with me one moment. I'll drop it in here. If I remember rightly, tying your .NET framework account, .NET account to Windows XP wasn't the best thing in the world to do. So what I've done is I've copied all the drivers to this machine and the unofficial service pack 4 to the hard drive of this computer. Now the good thing about the unofficial service pack 4 is that, unlike service pack 3, this is a cumulative update. In other words, it will actually install you up to service pack 4 depending on, you know, whether you've got service pack 2 or service pack 3. Or even service pack 1. Basically, it will install everything that it needs to install. So, just going to double click it. And then we will start the installer. Now this will take a while to actually install. And I think while it's installing, I'm probably going to get a refill on my cup of tea. So I'm just gonna let the video run for this bit while it extracts the files and verifies them, and then we'll go into the steps to install Windows XP Unofficial Service Pack 4. Now, Unofficial Service Pack 4 actually does provide A couple of neat wee things. Plus it provides the most up-to-date .NET frameworks. And a few other things that are very useful. Which means that I don't actually have to spend as long updating Windows. Right. Use this wizard to install the following software update. Windows XP Service Pack 4. Look guys, I don't have a URL for this as of yet. But once I get one, I will actually update the description of my video. If one's not there, you could always follow me on Facebook or what have you, and I will, you know, update the description as soon as I have a URL for the Service Pack 4, or I will actually post it on my Facebook. Anyway, use the wizard to install the following software update, Windows XP Service Pack 4. Before you install the update, we recommend that you back up your system. Close all open programs. You might need to restart your computer after you complete the update. To continue, click Next. Supplemental end-user license agreement for remastered Microsoft software. So, thank you very much. Charl Lampos. Sorry about that. Charlampos Kazkos. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Some rights reserved. Consult release notes for additional copyright information. What I like. Oh, and it actually includes all the end user licensing agreements. You know, the ones that say that you do not have permission to reverse engineer or, you know, do anything like that with the software, which I think has kind of been done to make this service pack. Look, I won't tell if you don't, okay? I'm perfectly fine with this. This version of the unofficial Service Pack 4 is brilliant. Anyway, I'm not going to bother backing up files because I'm feeling like a rebel today. However, if this is the first time you're installing Service Pack 4 and you're unsure of, you know, everything that's going on, and or it is a critical use machine, for example, you're in the government, definitely back up the files so that if anything goes wrong, you can always system restore it back to what you had before. Anyway, this is now creating a restore point, so it's going to go and install, and I am going to head to the Fortress of Tea to grab myself another cup. Okay, so now we have this screen, completing the Windows XP Service Pack 4 installation wizard. You have successfully completed the Service Pack 4 setup wizard. To apply the changes, the wizard has to restart Windows. To restart Windows automatically, click Finish. If you want to restart later, select the Do Not Restart Now checkbox and then click Finish. Well, I think we will restart now. There's no point not doing so. Or maybe not. XP has this habit of just sitting there until you think, oh, maybe it's not a way to restart. And then if you decide to go and do something, then it'll restart. I guess therein lies a lesson of patience. Right, I'm just gonna readjust this. There we go. Readjusted slightly. Now we have the newer Windows XP splash screen with the blue progress bar. Now we're going to get the Service Pack 2 out of the box experience. Windows XP, please wait. And now it's going to ask me, do I want to update? Help protect my PC by turning on automatic updates now or not right now. Well, it says help protect your PC. Thank you for installing Windows XP Service Pack 3. Before you complete the setup process, sign up for automatic updates. With automatic updates, Windows can routinely check for the latest important updates for your computer and install them automatically. These updates can include security updates, critical updates, and service packs. So what I'm going to do is help protect my PC by turning on automatic updates now. There we go. I'm going to click next. And then hopefully now I should just get to the login screen. Right, that's my password inputted. And talking of passwords and logging on and stuff like that, there's still a wee matter of the network. Oh, look. Security center. Right, before I do anything else, I want to change my network, the work group that this machine will be attached to. If you have to do this, what we need to do is click on Start, go up to my computer, right click on it, and select Properties. Now, we want to go to the Computer Name tab, and we see that the workgroup is MS Home. Now, I want to be a part of the workgroup, so I'm going to change the workgroup name from MS Home to Workgroup. I know I should probably make my own workgroup. I used to. Back in the day, I actually used to, but now I actually have a network. For some reason, I seem to think that that doesn't need to happen. Probably because it doesn't prompt you like Windows setup program default did. Welcome to the workgroup. You must restart the computer for changes to take effect. See, I think for the most part, work groups have kind of became irrelevant in the home networking scene. I mean, you know, Microsoft, you know, been wanting to push their home groups. Personally, I think that they're a crock, and I hate them, and I usually disarm them straight away, and I just don't like them. You know, it just kind of makes it more difficult for older machines to connect. It's just actually easier doing it the old-fashioned way. Oh, sugar, my flash drive wants scanned. I was actually complaining about this the other day, so you know what, I'll just let it scan it. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're back at the desktop, and you may have noticed that the resolution of the screen is actually a lot higher. Everything on screen is actually a lot smaller now. I've not installed the graphics card driver off camera. Windows XP Service Pack 2 and 3 and above actually have inbuilt support for the graphics card in this system, which is an NVIDIA GeForce FX 5200. However, I do still plan to install the latest NVIDIA drivers. So, with that in mind, let's get all that set up now. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go through all these drivers and install them. Probably should have installed the chipset driver first. In fact, let's do that. Let's kill this. Yeah. I'll install the chipset driver first and then restart. And then I can install everything else. Well, I say install the chipset driver. Can't actually see a thing at the moment, by the way. Intel chipset software utility. Oh yeah, and Internet Explorer 8 has installed itself. So now I'm just going to run the chipset setup, and it'll install everything that's needed. Sorry about the dodgy angle of the screen. It seems to be getting progressively worse and worse as the video goes on, probably because my legs kind of moving the tripod or something. Right, there we go. See if I can actually, there we go. Sorry, the setup is a wee bit awkward. I'm sorry the angle's awkward as well. Tea's good though. Right, good. I'll restart here, and then I'll have the latest chipset drivers ready to go. So once again, it's just a case of letting the PC start back up again, and then I'm actually going to do something that I would not normally do, and install the rest of the drivers consecutively without restarting. If this were a ThinkPad, I wouldn't do that, because ThinkPads are very sensitive in how you install the drivers, and always have been. Cool, now we're back at the desktop, and let's see, before I do anything else, I'm really having trouble seeing the mouse pointer, so let's get that changed, shall we? I do plan to install Zoom Text on here as well. Don't need to copy it, overwrite anything. So now at the moment we're just going to install the sound drivers. There we go. That's them installed. Now things like the sound will actually work, you know, as the minute the driver's installed. It does recommend you restart your computer, but you don't necessarily need to. I mean, obviously if this were a machine that was doing professionally, either in work or, you know, just kind of an outside, you know, thing for someone else, I would restart after every driver was installed. But because this is my own machine, I can pretty much do whatever I want. And if it goes wrong, well, it's my fault. The only one that's affected is me, and I can go back and do it again. I did actually have the modem installed in this machine. It came to me with a modem in it, but I actually took it out. I like how Dell has its own set of GeForce FX 5200 drivers. I believe these are the right network drivers. I had no idea. Oh, no, they're not. Way to go, Jay! These all seem to be graphics drivers. I am well aware of that. Oh well. Let's install the crash analysis tool so we can analyze Crash Bandicoot. Oh! James. Configuring the Windows installer. Nice, thanks. Thanks for that. Basically just a case of breezing through these installations. Driver reset tool. It could be this one. I really should get rid of all the drivers I don't need. Alright, it's one of these. So, yeah, I believe this is the correct driver. If it is, in a minute we'll actually see a wee bubble come to the bottom right of the screen saying, yep, there is local area network connection, a network cable is unplugged. And we might even get to see another wee balloon which will offer to help us set up the network. Okay. Right, that's brilliant. That's installed the networking driver. That's good. And we can install the diagnostics utility. So apart from graphics, this is pretty much an all Intel system. If I remember rightly, there are no graphics on this motherboard. In fact, there aren't. So, you know, literally I have to use an AGP card. This machine came to me with an ATI card in it. You know, I took it out, unearthed the GeForce FX 5200, which I had in my 2006 custom built. Unfortunately, that card died earlier this year due to bad capacitors. So I replaced it with another FX 5200. Talking of which, let's get these drivers installed. Cup of tea. Gives me the sustenance that I need to make these videos. I should get commissioned by Scottish Blind. Nah, kidding on. Right. So now we will restart. And did you hear it? There's sound. So as soon as I'm back at the Windows desktop, I'll rejoin you. Okay, so we're now back at the desktop, all drivered up and ready to go. Well, I say that. I've installed the base drivers for this system. Now I need to install the drivers for my two expansion cards. That would be the Belkin wireless card I have in this machine, and the Pinnacle PCTV stereo TV tuner card. So I'll get the drivers for those sorted out, and we'll be ready to go. Right, I can't find the drivers for my TV tuner card at the moment. I do believe they're on my main machine and I might have pulled them over the network last time I installed this system. So to access my network, I'll have to install some wireless drivers. So let's go do that. There we go. So now this is a way installing the software needed to make my card work. And that's worked because there is a wireless internet icon. I need to select the region that my device will be used in. Now this is very important. This isn't something that I'm setting to be pedantic. Different countries have different laws governing which Wi-Fi channels can be used. So you really should select the one which represents the region where you are currently staying. I know, for example, that France is France has certain Wi-Fi channels that you can't use, same as, you know, different places in the world. You know, there's certain channels you can't use. So yeah, this is one that you have to be very careful of, because, you know, if you were to use a wireless channel that's not allowed in your country, you could potentially be messing about on frequencies used by other potentially critical equipment. And if the law find out that you're doing that, you'll probably find yourself in a wee bit of trouble. Okay, please shut down your computer and insert the PCI card to finish the installation. You're wishing what? PCI card's there, mister. Anyway, let's get logged into the wireless network. First of all, what I want to do, I know Belkin's installed its own utilities. I want to stop this starting up with my PC. Good, so I've deleted that out of startup. Now I'm going to log on. Hopefully now this will be connecting. Acquiring network address. Still acquiring network address. Connected. Excellent. Now I'm just going to log on to my main computer and download the drivers that I need. Okay, so now I have the Pinnacle PCTV driver thing. Now, this installation is not going to install the software, it's literally going to install the driver. And the reason I have to do it this way is because Windows XP Service Pack 2 made a lot of changes in the XP kernel. See, after the Summer of Worms in 2003, with SoBig.F and MS Blast, Microsoft realised that XP was vulnerable. So they actually pulled a lot of people off of the Longhorn development team to actually work on Windows XP and work on making it more secure. You know, and it was kind of in this time that they realised that they actually wanted to start again with the Longhorn project, and we got what is now known as Microsoft Windows Vista. Now, now the long and short of this all is that with certain devices, Windows XP Service Pack 2 would encounter some issues. I know that my mum's Epson Stylus Photo R300 printer, it could print absolutely beautiful photographs in Windows XP RTM and Windows XP Service Pack 1. However, it could not print beautiful looking photographs in Service Pack 2. They would come out extremely dark. You know, and it wasn't until we actually reformatted her machine, you know, and just kind of put Windows XP Service Pack 1 on there, that we actually realised that that's what was causing it. So, yeah, I mean, I've got this machine, you know, got that, managed to diagnose that as a fault of Service Pack 2. Another casualty of Windows XP Service Pack 2 was the Pinnacle PCTV stereo card. It would work absolutely fine on Windows XP Service Pack 1 and below, but would report a driver failure on Service Pack 2. So because of that, I actually have to install this first, which is basically just the driver. So basically this will install, you know, just like, you know, any other driver. But I will actually still have to use the original CD to actually install the Pinnacle PCTV software. Which, you know, isn't a problem. Yeah, I have the disc. I'm glad I do. You know, and once I've done that, then it'll be time to install some other applications, PowerDVD and Nero 7. And then I think that'll do it for this video, because you really don't need to see me installing Microsoft Office and Microsoft Works for the billionth time. So yep, there we go. That is the driver installed. Now, if I go look in Device Manager, everything should be accounted for. Oh, nope, yep, it is. It's just kind of getting its stuff together. Pinnacle PCTV Stereo Palette Capture Device. That's very nice. Anyway, now let's install the software. Before I do that though, I want to get a videotape, because I will actually need to tune in my VCR, so I'll be right back. Slightly different angle again. I'm just gonna put this tape into the front of the video. I'll just move my tablet for now. And now let's get the software. Basically, what I plan to do with this machine is kind of turn it into a 2005-2006 time capsule. So, what I'm going to do, sorry I deleted the Belkin wireless setup utility icon from the desktop off camera. Right, I'm going to go to start my computer. Now, for some reason, when I try and auto run this CD, it says, please go to the control panel to install and configure system components. So what I need to do is actually go into the CD itself and then double click on setup, the setup folder, and then go there instead. Right, good. So what we're going to do now is actually going to register it, and I'll put the CD key in. So I'll be back as soon as I've done that. Okay, now it's asking me what do I want to install. Now I'm going to go to custom, because not everything, I don't actually wish to install everything. Pinnacle PCTV Stereo. And I don't want Adobe Acrobat Reader. Everything else is fine. And now it's just a case of actually going ahead and then installing everything. It's brilliant. Installing Windows Media Format 7.1. For some reason it decided it needed that. Sorry about this shakiness. Once again, I seem to have messed up the angle. Right, okay. Now it's installing the hardware driver. This will not interfere with the driver that I previously installed, by the way. Okay. Do I want shortcuts to the PCTV applications to be installed on the desktop? Yes, I do. If your PCTV package contains a remote control, it is now time to configure it. Does your package contain a remote control? A PCTV remote control is also available separately. No, it does not. So, now that I've actually installed the PCTV software, I'm going to have to restart the computer. And next comes the fun part. Tuning in the TV tuner. Now, this is an analog TV tuner, so it won't actually pick up any TV signals. even if I connect an aerial to it. Not any that it can decode anyway. However, the VCR is connected via RF, so it's, and basically that's all I need this TV tuner card for, is to be able to accept input from the VCR. So I can use this computer to watch video VHS tapes and to record them to DVD. Right, I'm just going to put my password in. Excellent. Now before I go anywhere, I'm going to, oh look, PCTV Assistant. Welcome to the agent for PCTV. This agent will help you get started using your PCTV. To this end, the agent will now test your system for compliance with basic system requirements for using the PCTV. Using the PCTV. Please close all other active programs now. Note, you can start the PCTV agent anytime from within the PCTV program group. Press continue. I'm not the only one who still calls these program groups. Software installation test. This test checks whether all the drivers and applications that are directly required in order to use the card are present and correct. Press continue to start the test. Software installation test. The software components for the PCTV software were tested successfully and are current. Press continue. DirectX installation test. Microsoft DirectX is a basic component and basic prerequisite for the PCTV. The test verifies whether all the DirectX files required for trouble-free functioning of the DirectDraw interface are present in the necessary version. Press continue to start the test. The files required for DirectX were tested successfully and are current. Press continue. DirectX compatibility test. The test checks the required DirectX compatibility of your graphics card. This test pattern picture at left should appear in center of your screen for approximately 3 seconds. Press continue to start. I would say that picture has appeared. Do you see the test pattern on the center of the screen? Yep. DirectX compatibility test. The DirectX driver for your graphics card was tested successfully. Press continue. DirectX overlay test. This test is to verify whether your graphics card is capable of displaying a video overlay in the current resolution. The test pattern, pictured on the left, will be enlarged step by step until it fills the screen. Press continue to start the test. Did the graphic that you saw fill the screen? Well, yes, it did. DirectX overlay test. The overlay function is possible with the current display configuration, resolution, color depth, screen refresh rate, and driver version of your graphics card. Press continue. Device test. This test will check whether the PCTV will work fine. Please make sure that the board is inserted correctly. Connect the antenna input of the PCTV to the cable of your antenna system and or connect an external active video device like a VCR via composite or S-video. Press continue to start the test. Device test. The driver test has been passed and successfully completed. Press exit to exit the program. Right, now before I do anything, I just want to configure some desktop icons I'd like to have shown on the desktop. So now what I'm going to do is actually go into PCTV Vision. I'm going to set it up. And no, I do not wish to register. As you can see, the TV card is working. What I'm going to need to do now is actually insert a videotape into my VCR. Now, VCRs work better when plugged in. Okay, shall we try that again? And you guys will get to see this video working for the first time. Right, now I'm going to press play. Right, and now we're back with the PC. So that videotape is playing right now. So what I'm going to do is, this is the first time I've started PCTV, so this dialog box has appeared. This is the first time you are running PCTV Vision. Would you like to scan for channels now? Recommended. Yes, I would. And I'm going to scan for antenna, quick scan, no duplicate stations, and I'm going to click start. What I'll do is I'll move this dialog box out of the way, and then we actually get to watch as it scans through the different bands. Would you look at that? I love watching this. Sorry, it's only a wee window. No, I can't actually enlarge it. Sorry. So what this is doing now is it's actually scanning through the UHF band. And once it finds a channel, it will actually add it to the channel list over there. Now you do still see bits of noise on the UHF band, but it's not something that an analog TV board can really pick up and know what to do with it. That's why it looks like you should be getting a picture, but you don't. Right. I think we should be near to where the VCR is broadcasting now, the frequency that it's broadcasting at. Yep, there we are. And it's actually added that to the channel list. Now, what I'll do is I'll just kind of let it get to the end. It shouldn't actually pick anything more up. See, I remember back when analog TV was still active. I used to use this board in my 2006 custom built while I was at university, and I used to use PCTV Vision to record The Simpsons on Channel 4. Tell you, this all brings back memories. Used to love it. Used to rush home so that I'd be in time to make my supper. Excellent. As you can see, this is all working now. Can fast forward. Rewind.
I seen plays that were more exciting than this. Honest to God, plays. I want these 4 bucks to watch some monkey wannabe laying it.
All right. If I had something else connected to this video, I could obviously use the channels. But unfortunately, I don't. So best thing to do is to eject the tape and switch off the VCR. Well, that's the TV tuner installed. So now what I will do is I'll go away and install the rest of my applications. And then I'll come back. Well, the applications that I'm going to install for now, I'm just going to install the stuff that actually has something to do with the hardware in this computer. So PowerDVD, that'll get installed, and Nero will get installed. Okay, so Nero has actually been installed now. Just going to pause this tape. I was actually watching it while I was installing it. So what I want to do is actually tune in the VCR for Nero Vision. So I'm going to go to Nero Vision, click Capture to Hard Drive. The capabilities of the device have not yet been tested. We recommend testing the device before using it. Do you want to test the device now? Yes, I do. I will set the videotape playing once again. PCTV stereo BDA analog capture. The device will now can now be tested. Click Next to start the test. Please select the input you want to configure. I'll configure the tuner. I'll select my country. So that it knows which bands to tune. PAL I. And now what's going to happen is this will now tune it in for Nero Vision. So that when I actually come to transfer a videotape to DVD, it should actually work. There we go. It's actually found the VCR, not a problem. There you have it. Channel 36. And then I'm ready to finish the configuration. The device has been configured successfully, but was not tested yet. Right, okay. While capturing, be sure to avoid the following actions: locking the workstation, running other applications in full screen mode, running CPU exhaustive programs. These actions interfere with the capturing process and may render the capturing results unsuitable. Right, well, let's actually see if it works. 4:3 PAL resolution. Okay then. So I think we should test it, see if it actually works. Unable to analyze the captured file. What are you doing? I don't know why it's saying that. Right, that's something that I'll have to have a look at later. But for now, let's just go ahead and install PowerDVD. So now that is PowerDVD 6 installed. Reason I went for version 6 is because while this machine is from 2003, the caliber of parts that are now in it, I wanted to make it a 2006-2007 time capsule, as I've said before. So that's everything completely, well, all the basic applications set up. Now, what I want to do now, just before I go, I want to go to Control Panel, which I've done. And I want to show you some of the things that come as part of Windows XP Service Pack 4. So you get all the usual tidbits, you know, of things that came with Windows XP. But if you scroll down, you get, well, BitLocker for Go Reader, Internet Explorer 8, all the .NET frameworks. So I want to install .NET Framework 4. Don't know where .NET Framework 2 is, by the way. Genuine Advantage notifications. I'll install that because it'll install it anyway. Media Player 11. PowerShell. Windows Rights Management Client. Windows Search 4.0 if you wanted it. And XPS services. Now I don't like Windows Search or Windows Desktop Search or MSN Search or whatever version of the program happens to be, because I just find that it really slows down the machine and really hampers the performance. So I usually elect not to install that. But I will install all the things that I have selected. And with that, I would like to conclude this video. I hope you have all enjoyed watching it. If you have, and you enjoyed it, please feel free. Well, I hope you have enjoyed it, yeah. You enjoyed watching it and enjoyed watching it. I hope you've all enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to this channel, follow Video Sans Frontières on Facebook, and follow me on Twitter. The URLs will follow. But until then, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you'll all join me for my next one. Cheery bye.